Everyone is catching big grass carp here, and everyone is catching barbel here. But maybe you simply only have a feeder setup. But even with that, you can really fish very well here. So, get yourself over here to Bear Lake. This water is made exactly for you if you only have the feeder setup. The feeder setup that I showed in the current video, the what to buy from level 20 video. And with that, you can also pull out something really good here because that setup is made for exactly this for the mid-game, starting at Bear Lake. So yes, you can already fish barbel here quite easily. You can fish grass carp here, a lot goes in here, and all of that completely without PVA because the water here gives you the option to simply throw the ground bait balls by hand and feed the spot just as well. So you don't even need to fish with PVA, but either use the feeder basket, also absolutely an option, or simply throw the ball by hand. There are already countless infos about this in countless videos. Same here at this spot. Just take a look into the Bear Lake playlist. Everything is explained there. And on the German language channel, there is already a complete playlist fully about carp fishing with all the information, the carp fishing basics in practice, and so on and so on. So go in there, pull in the information, because that is the A and O. Without info, nothing works in the game. That is the most important thing here in Russian Fishing 4, that you are well informed about what you can do, where you can do something, and especially how you do it. That, as I said, is the most important thing. Yes, and one option to fish here is, of course, like I said, with the feeders on very simple bait. I have been standing here for a good 20 minutes already, and I am already quite satisfied. Especially in the morning hours, that is the ultimate time again for the barbel. Additionally, I have also thrown out a barbel ground bait mix so the spot shifts even more towards barbel because barbel is worth it in terms of silver. The barbel does not get insanely big, and that means for our little mid-game setup, it is absolutely ideal. So we do not sit forever in a heavy fight with a huge grass carp, for example, because the grass carp really goes wild on our small setup here. Yes, and this is the bait. We go in here with wheat grain. Just very simple, wheat grain. And you know the wheat grain, of course, if you watched the basic tutorial about the shops, the wheat grain we get at Winding Rivulet, and then we convert it in the bait crafting into an actual bait. And that is an absolute classic for barbel fishing. So it is always worth testing it. And truly also for other fish species, just test from time to time whether something nice works on it. I would almost say one of the baits that is used far too little. Because wheat grain, as I said, works for many different species. Another option would be switching the whole thing over to earthworm. Earthworm is definitely also an option. If you stand here with earthworm, then the classic sturgeon ground bait mix also works really well here. The classic sturgeon mix can be found in Discord. Link to Discord is directly under the video. There is an area with all the different ground bait mixes, and you can use them very well here too. But I am just throwing out the earthworm now, and then we test whether that delivers a bit more. As I said, barbel often also takes earthworm, but cheese and honey dough would also be an option. So if you want to test all the other baits, just get in here and test with various natural baits. Despite all that, I always have to say, without ground bait mix, it is not a good idea. Meaning, if you are in the level range that you can actually come here and you already have the setup but you have not skilled ground bait yet, go back to Winding Rivulet with the damn earthworm and just fish for small fish to generate silver so you can skill ground bait. From level 12, you should already use ground bait. For example, when you fish at Old Berg. And from level 18, if you want to fish for carp, well, then you need a ground bait mix. Everything else is simply a waste of time, and you will make much more silver and XP at other waters. And even if your ground bait skill is not yet very high, and you can only craft another ground bait type, for example the Gibel and Crucian ground bait mix, then feel free to throw that one in as well, or add extra components to it. In the ground bait category, you very quickly unlock the simple ground bait. And if you rebuild this simple ground bait yourself, you naturally have additional free slots. And everything that goes in the carp direction, whether it is corn kernel or pea or something like blue bottle fly maggot, such components can also be added into this ground bait mix. And in terms of aromas, you either take something neutral like sunflower oil, that is indeed more neutral, or if you want to go in the barbel direction, you take aromas that go towards fishy scents. So fish oil, crayfish, for example, depending on how far you are in ground bait crafting, but also things like amino work really well again and again, and also other oil types like salmon oil or linseed oil, or of course corn aromatic or vanilla. And even with such a simple ground bait, you are already significantly better off here at this spot than without any ground bait. So you have much more advantages if you stand here with ground bait than without it. And then just cast comfortably on the 17 meters clip, just like always here. And then it works. This is a classic spot that works almost always. Right now it runs really well here, you can already see it. The grass carp are being caught in huge numbers since several days. So definitely the chance to also get the big grass carp here. Or of course, if you already can, you take the classic hair rig setup, sinking boilies or ideally pellets, and then you take fishy aromas again. For example, crab and mussel soluble or crayfish as aroma. And then you already have a very good foundation to take your first steps here at Bear Lake. Now it is time to wait a bit again. Towards the evening hours, it will get a bit more active again. During the night, it might be a bit quiet, and then especially in the morning hours, the barbel will really start again. And then I will continue testing here. I will stay completely on wheat grain for now. Wheat grain also regularly gives barbel as trophy, so it is truly an excellent bait for barbel fishing. There we have the next one already. Yes! Good weight. Very nice. Well, it can continue like that. And if that is a barbel, yes, that will taste good, right? 6 kilograms. But of course, I also gladly take all the grass carp. So quickly cast out again, and then of course check the net, and then you can see if all of this is worth it or not. I would say for this half hour, 120 silver is quite okay. You can do that. For the fact that this is simply a basic setup, nothing special. Just one bait pulled through here, the wheat grain, and then from grass carp to barbel. Sure, sometimes something small bites, but overall you make really good percent silver and you get good XP. That much for today. If it helped you, leave a thumbs up, that helps me. And then we will see each other in the next video or the next live stream. Tight lines.